Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Massmiverse, and I hope you're doing well. It's autumn here in Germany, and it gives you a lot of time to think about things when you see that nature is, going into hibernation and all that stuff. So after taking care of lots of things, I had some time on my hands to start working on projects I had left sitting for quite a while. They literally had cobwebs, and with that I mean my YouTube channel as well. See, I got to find out that I'm a master procrastinator. Many of us have that kind of skill, which is actually useful if you know how to deal with it. And that's what this video is about, on how to deal with procrastination, most especially when it comes to recording videos, because the first video I made for this channel, when I was kind of serious and thinking like I'm going to take over the world, it was 2 years ago. And that's really some poor productivity, given that this will be the 6th or 5th video of the channel in 2 years. So that's a really poor kind of like, let me say, report. So I thought to myself, what is the root cause of all my issues when it comes to making videos? And it all came down to some specific questions and worries that I always have, which build up into a wall I cannot easily overcome, and then I end up doing nothing. And that's what this video is about. That's why I called it recording troubles, or more specifically, dealing with your recording demons. Now, I'm going to switch from questions to the worries, from section to section, so that you get the full picture, and then I'll give you the answers after we've gone through all the questions and the worries. So here we go. The first questions I always have when I'm starting to record something or want to record something, I already have the idea down. I'm a perfectionist, so I literally already made notes about what I'm going to talk about. And I'm like, yeah, all I need to do is push that record button, do some editing, and then post the damn thing. But it never happens. Why? Because of this. The first question that I always have is, what do I look like? Followed by, how is my background? How do I sound? Is the lighting bright enough? Just as those questions are out of my head, like they just whoosh, pass by, they are followed up by some worries. Worries like, what does my posture look like? Am I humping over? Or am I straight and stiff and talking like some kind of robot? Is it good? Is it bad? What does my clothing look like? I mean, who fucking cares? But in that moment, that's what just gets through my head. And is the sound poor or okay or super good? Because if sound is bad, I can as well just throw the video away. And what do the angles look like? Is the background structured? Yeah, I know. It's really a pain in the ass. So once that is done, more questions pop up in my head. And they sound like, is my topic good enough, boring, or interesting? Duh, I wouldn't have started recording it if it wasn't, but then I start getting these worries, and then I have these questions. Then another question pops up in my head, and it's saying, is my point being made, conveyed, coming across, or is it, like being understood the right way? Which is quite hard because you can only judge that after recording and evaluating yourself or letting other people give you some feedback, which never happens because I'm too bothered and too worried and too much of a scaredy cat to even just, do my best and do the thing. Right after those questions, more worries pop up. Worries like, is my speech clear? Are my visuals clear? Do I have anything on my lens? Is the content filled with a kind of clarity that will make people captivated and stay? And do I have good presentation skills? Yeah, And then, as if that's not enough, the last icing sugar, like the cherry on top of all these worries and questions, are the following questions. Will this help anyone out there? Will they understand? And will I get any views from this? As in, that monetization trap that we all fall into, wanting to, progress so fast that we get the money and everything we've ever wished for without putting in the efforts as others have done it. You can have the fast track, and if it's consistent, then you lucked out, which is really great because you must have had some kind of super strategy. But if you're on the slow side, like yours truly, myself, then you need gradual progress so that you can build up that confidence, and then you can build up your nerves of not giving a fuck about all these things, because once you start being yourself and authentic and you learn to grow into your type of authentic presenter, everything else will roll by itself, and the points you'll have to make will come across to those people who they matter to. And then you'll start building up your following, and people will start coming to you, and you will be that which you've always dreamt of, but you just have to start. So those are the questions and worries that I've been dealing with the past 2 years whenever I wanted to record something. And it was such a pain that I couldn't even post anything. I have several videos, as in lots of material that I could use, but I was just like, no, it ain't good enough. I don't look right. The background's ugly and the lighting's off. The angles are really bad and I don't sound right. My voice is kind of hoarse. I haven't, maybe combed my hair right. Right now it's super short and I like it that way, by the way, because I don't need to take care of it apart from just washing it and stuff. Anyway, now I will present you with the answers that I came up with that have led to this video to help me just not care so much about all those kinds of things anymore. Okay, my thoughts as of this video, after 2 years of evaluating myself and evolving and changing and observing others and seeing what really matters and what it comes down to, starting with the first questions. What do I look like? I would say, who cares? Just be clean and presentable in a way that if somebody took a picture of you and was to show it to strangers, you wouldn't feel bad about it, because that's literally you and you're okay with it. Second thing is, how's my background? Your background should either be neutral or totally looking like something of your own domain, as in your style, things to your liking, where you feel comfortable, just like the codes. Keep it neat, tidy, and not too distracting from yourself. And then, how do I sound? Well, sound is to me the most important thing. So make sure that you have a good microphone. I will give you the link of the microphone I'm using, but it also only works with the camera that I'm using. You can use it for other things like your smartphone or whatsoever, but for me, my specific fondness falls to the combination of the EOS M50 from Canon and this microphone, which I've forgotten its name. I'll put it down in the link. So make sure you have some good sound. Like any good smartphone nowadays can do all that without you having to buy extra things, as long as it's not older than 5 years. And many people would tell you the same thing. You can also use a lavalier microphone, a small thing that you can just clip onto your shirt or, let me say, jacket, and you can start talking. Or you can even use wireless microphones, but those ones are a bit costly, so watch out for that. Now, when it comes to, is the lighting bright enough? I'll only say this. Daylight is the easiest solution you can have. And daylight in a way that the light falls on one side of your body and throws a shadow on the other side of your body. Your background, like I have, could have a window that is also throwing some light from there so that you get a rim light around your body, your, let me say, contour. And in the back, the things that are neutral and not so important will just be there to give it some kind of atmosphere and flair, like the plants and the drawings and the paintings that I have. So yeah, good lighting is essential for the camera sensor to pick up good visuals, but the best lighting is daylight because it's the easiest to work with if you place the camera the right way. So do some tests. Now that brings us to the first worries. And the worries were bad posture. How's my posture? You will see me rocking back and forth, moving left and right, just feeling comfortable in my body, moving myself because that's what I like doing. And that is how I speak in reality, and that's the authentic self that I am. So straighten yourself a bit, feel comfortable, and let your posture support you and your speech and your voice in a way that you feel comfortable. Like if you feel like limping over because you want to get a point over that you're really exhausted or something like that, then do it. If you're in character, then just go with your character as long as it makes you feel great and have fun at what you're doing. People will get that energy, pick up on it, and then they'll be like, yeah, that's great, it works. So whatever works for you is good, as long as you also watch out for your health. As in, I try to keep a straight back, and the rest just happens naturally. Like moving my hands all the time. You may not see because it's down here, but all the time I'm doing something like this when I'm speaking. Okay. Good. Inappropriate clothing is another worry. Well, for the clothing, I like black. I like black and dark colors. But I also like contrasts. So I always subconsciously combine things that contrast with each other and also make me feel comfortable. Like today is a very cloudy day because we're in autumn, 13th of November, and I decided to wear something yellow with a scarf to keep me warm when I'm up here filming. And I'm really comfortable with that. And that's what I'm wearing. So once I feel comfortable, it will feel easier for me to start speaking authentically and being myself on camera. Now, the next worry will be poor sound, angles, and background tidiness or whatsoever. Now, when it comes to that, I always make sure that my voice is somewhat flowing, natural, not too loud, not too low, and as in low in volume, so that the people will understand what I'm talking about. I also try to put breaks in between, and when I notice that I'm starting to get hoarse and my throat is starting to get dry, I take a break from filming, drink something, moisturize my lips, and then make sure that my body is ready to keep on filming. So I do several takes and I just edit them together. It's the easiest thing instead of wanting to do one whole take, unless it's about a topic that takes only 3 to 5 minutes, or let me say mostly 10 minutes, then you can do just that. There's no problem with that. But yeah, that's what I do. And yeah, always have some water close to you, some lip balm for your lips, or some Vaseline to keep yourself and your lips moisturized, so that when you're speaking and things start getting dry because of, the tension, the stress of wanting to do everything right, most especially if you're a perfectionist, it will all work out. Good. That'll be the first part of the questions and the worries. Moving on to the next is the questions once again. Like, is my topic good enough, boring, or interesting? I would say to that, A topic is good enough, not boring and interesting to your audience if, first of all, it is exciting to you and you come alive when you start talking about it, and it is very important for you to get the point across to your audience, as in to convey it to them in some way, in whatever way comes natural to you. Once it feels very flowing and easy and almost like time is just blown out of the picture, you will notice that you don't even care anymore about what kind of topic it is, because you're really in the zone, and that captures the people. That's where the captivation comes from. Next thing would be, is my point being made, conveyed, coming across the right way? Tying to what we just listened to or what we just had, when it comes to the importance of the topic, it ties into that same thing, as in like once that energy is picked up on of excitement and you coming alive and it's literally visible in the camera, other people will be like, wow, that's really good. So your point will be made if the way you explain it or talk about it makes sense to the people. To help you, convey it even in a better way, you'll need some kind of structure. A basic structure is never bad. So I tend to structure things in beginning, middle, and end. The beginning has a title and basic info. The middle has the main part with the crucial details and everything else that I found out about that point and topic when it comes to research material and all that stuff. Even the links and maybe the sources of where I got my information from. And the end is always the conclusion with my personal opinion, and that will be all. Now, moving on to the next worries. We had the worries of, is the speech clear? Are the visuals clear? Is the content filled with clarity? And do I, as a presenter, or you watching this, have good presentation skills? Enough for people to just, validate the fact that, yeah, it's your right to film this and you deserve our time. That's what we inherently all want. So to that, I would say, tips for clear speech. Avoid a dry throat. Don't drink stuff with gas, water, soda, etc. No more water without any gas is just perfect. Avoid dry lips, like we said before. Have some Vaseline or lip balm. Keep your lips and throat always moisturized, because due to the stress, they will dry up. I cannot stress this any harder. Whenever you're stressed, your throat dries up so fast, your mouth is so dry, and you start feeling like you're talking through cotton wool. So it's not really a good feeling. So whenever you feel like it's starting to get dry, have some lip balm, drink some water, like I did before taking this second part of this video. Now for clear visuals, I would say clean the camera lenses before you start filming, tidy up your environment, make it orderly and organized. Even if it's just in the background, you will feel a difference when you know that everything is exactly as you wanted it to be. Most especially for perfectionists, watch out for that. Make sure that everything is somewhat okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it is somewhat acceptable to yourself, because you're your greatest critic. Actually, the easiest thing to do is just start recording and then let it be. Don't over-edit things, and then you're done. But if you're like me, that advice will not help you. That which will help you is to really make sure that things look somewhat tidy, somewhat neat, somewhat okay, not perfect. And then over time, you'll get better and better and better. But you have to have a baseline, and that baseline should be something you create for yourself. And once you have that in the back of your mind, that you did all you could, even a great perfectionist will just have to hit the record button after that and not worry about anything in the background, but focusing on what you have to convey. Clarity of content. I would say think in terms of your message, topic, break it down in steps with a structure of beginning, middle, end. The end is always the conclusion with a needed result that you want to have people reach. Now we come to the good presentation skills. For that, I would say the following, because this is what helped me really deal with my issues and procrastination. Practice all you want to talk about and speak to yourself while looking at yourself in a mirror. Your reflection tells you a lot about your posture, your habits of speaking, breathing patterns, and how you fill in gaps. And when you see that, you can work on it and then kind of course correct while doing the thing. Instead of a camera, it is a mirror, and then you will see what comes across. But I would say using a camera is better than a mirror because you're already practicing the thing itself. You don't have to post it, but you can evaluate it by watching yourself once again and then saying, ooh, that was cringy. Ooh, that was bad. I ain't gonna do that. I don't wanna see myself looking like that. And then you adjust, and then you find the position or whatever it is that works for you and use that. And over time, you'll get more comfortable being yourself without having all those cringy parts that are filled with errors. You'll remove most of your errors, and some errors will stay because they are habits you have had for years. So just deal with them and be yourself. People will have to accept that because you're just an individual and a human, and you have human-like traits. Now, all that matters is actually authenticity. Feeling comfortable, that energy will come across. You will start to see yourself in a new light, and you will gain confidence the more you do this. And that will create a good impression for you of yourself that gives even the greatest confidence you can ever find. Once you are satisfied with yourself to some extent, you're not perfect. You'll never be perfect. You are a human. You will always find something to correct and yap about when it comes to yourself, because you're the greatest critic you will ever have. It's even in the Bible, I think. The end of your days and you're in heaven, or something akin to heaven, it is you who will be having a life review to be like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I can't watch myself being that kind of an asshole. I want to be a better person who is more a family person and all the kind of stuff. It is you who will always judge yourself. Do yourself a favor. Practice in front of a mirror or film yourself and then course correct. And when you're kind of okay with it, nothing can change that feeling of you having some kind of contentment with yourself. And it will give you the confidence you need to keep on making more videos, which will help you gradually grow into your authenticity, which will then shine at some point in time where you no longer think about all these stupid things. Now we're done with the good presentation skill tips. Coming to the end of the last questions. The questions were, will this help anyone out there? Will they understand? And will I get any views? As in, will I be monetized in some point in time? To that, I will say the following. Will this help anyone out there? Well, your stuff will definitely help someone out there. The kind of help that maybe if you had time traveled or you had access to time traveling, your younger version would appreciate and welcome all that advice and what you're talking about with open arms. It could be that kind of thing. There is an audience for you out there, so you better do your best and serve it. Will they, your younger self, or other versions of people like your younger version, your audience, understand? Well, yeah, if you heed the advice earlier on and you follow a simple structuring of your content, beginning, middle, and end. The content will be clear, and over time, you'll give it a twist of your own self, an authentic self, and then you'll no longer think about the structure. It will be something that happens subconsciously. And then you are at the point where you can just talk about anything and people will love it, I think. I hope. Well, it has worked for me for many presentations I have had till now. And those were all academic presentations. So this is what I just reverse engineered from those experiences to making videos. Now, if I see videos as holding presentations about things that I like and stuff that I care about, it's no longer such a great hurdle as the mentality I had before of creating something and talking about my personal self. I am still doing a presentation, but I didn't have the mentality of doing a presentation in the form of a video, and that is what was holding me back for the past 2 years. Hopefully with this new mentality and evolved mindset, things are going to be a lot easier. The last part, will I get any views? Well, if all is done well, you should have no issues getting views because consistency is key. I, for one, know I haven't been consistent at all. Not in the past few years, seeing that this is the 6th or 7th video within 2 years, ever since I started this channel. Many things have changed in my mind internally. My software has been changing, which has also changed my hardware. And now I'm at a point where I feel like, yeah, I can do this. So I just hit the recording button. So this whole thing is a presentation. And I hope I did, carry out the tips that I was giving. As in, I held myself accountable to the advice I am putting out there. And if not, feel free to correct me and give me some tips. And yeah, that will be all. Have fun and tune in for the next video, which should be maybe end of this week. Yeah. Bye-bye.